arm sleeves on. I know it's a big Counter-Strike thing. Less so much in Dota 2.
What is that for? Like circulation?
No, a lot of it, sometimes it can be for, so people are like elbow movers with their mouse. So it gives them that slicker surface. Can be for circulation, can just be because they think they look cool. All depends. Gamers are superstitious, man. They like things in very specific ways.
What do you have? Do you have like special undies? Do you have anything?
Superstitious wise, it's mainly just routines for me. Making sure I do the same thing before I do something crazy like that.
And look where it's got you.
Yeah. Casting here with you at 8 p.m. on a Thursday.
Exactly. Couldn't imagine anything better. Yeah. Speaking of looking great, Solo, you're going to need to correct me here, but it looks like he's like colored his hair, or is that just age and a few grays coming in? Because I'm red-green colorblind, so again.
That just looks like age to me. He actually looks pretty good. I mean, I don't want to disparage him, because I feel like he's, within our age bracket, so let's have a look.
No one wants to disparage him, though. He just went on an interview and he just blasted the way that Solo's been playing for like the past 6 years. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he's 34.
Oh, he's one of my people.
Not too far away from me as well. Like, obviously, in a lot of these tournaments that we've covered over the years, 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, someone of Solo's pedigree, though. Still be able to hang with the big boys. So having a look at the draft so far here, I feel like the big thing for me, Matt, as we're starting to look at how these two different teams are going to be playing, it's going to be looking at the supports. Because obviously all their core players are all fantastic, but we've been able to see how much pressure a lot of these different supports are able to put on the game.
Look at all the heroes that have been let through, though. TA's not there. AA's not there. Nature's Prophet's not there. Shadow Shaman's not there. BB's not there. It's a lot of stuff to choose from, and that is, I suppose, a pretty good way to approach a draft, right? Like, just ban out the stuff that you specifically don't like playing against. And I think for Kalmychata, it was the Kunkka that was really causing them a lot of distress in the previous game. We get to see our first bristleback of the entire qualifiers, so at least in the games that we've been casting. So interested to see how they're going to react to it. I mean, you could just go Chaos Knight, no? Like, it's one of those things where you can look to reposition relatively easily with the CK. You've also seen Fortnite Man play the Mars very frequently. As long as you land the spear, it turns BB to face you. So that's a nice way to be able to just have a quick response to it. Any just break builders obviously feels quite nice as well.
I mean, that's what the Shadow Shaman has that, what is it, level 15 talent? Hex breaks. So you do have that small little avenue here for Kalmychata. See if they're able to work in towards that and see whether or not it's Ike or Ponlo who walks around with it with the Shadow Shaman this time around. Is the Legion Commander a dead hero?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it just doesn't. It had this weird situation where like everyone was gaining damage off of it. I think it was a bug for a little bit of time, but it's kind of weird in how it worked. I wonder how, I haven't actually tested this, if Hex Breaks works with chicken fingers, or if it needs to specifically be Hex, that does the break.
That's a good question.
And they're actually banning out the Shadow Demon themselves. I mean, I guess it would probably have been Ponlo that ended up playing it, and he's going to be playing the Shadow Shaman, but just having that as an option against a BB always feels pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Kite Simulator, to be able to put him in the Hurt Dome.
What else have they really got to be able to choose from? I mean, Undying is not in the pool. They're really focusing on Ike and Fortnite Man in particular here. Like, Fortnite Man, every single game, if he gets the opportunity to. I know we saw him play only Mars yesterday, but Darkseer is his number one priority for sure. And then Ike, these are his two main heroes that he likes to play. He's also been able to play, again, the 5 Death Prophet. We saw have reasonable success. You could still Nature's Prophet, but again, against a Bristleback, does it feel that great? Probably not. Bane is a small possibility. Disruptor. Omni Knight, not the worst, but again, like, how is that actually going to be able to, into a BB? I'm also wondering, like, we saw Rinsick play the Slark, and he did not have a good time in that game number 3 yesterday. But I just want to see something that can buy a disperser against this bristleback, if it is indeed going to be like the Pos 3 Snot Rocket style.
Well, the AA is making their way downtown, walking fast to being the most hated hero of his tournament so far.
He's homebound for sure.
71% win rate.
No, it's kind of busted, you know, and again, you're just going to be able to buff up so much of the damage that's going to be coming out too. Like, we're seeing a lot more people buying the Veil of Discord as well. Wouldn't surprise me to see even a Shiva's. You've already got an AA, but you're not always going to be able to guarantee the hit. Kunkka already gone. We saw that it was a race that played the great Puck that was enabling the AA. Chira Jr., I mean, he's super capable of doing that as well. Yeah. Storm Spirit, probably the #1 hero, though, for Chira.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like a lot of the Eastern European mid laners, like, they have that very classic mid lane hero pool that they rely on and are fantastic on. So, especially, you know, over the years, I've seen Chira Jr. And imagine it's Spirit Route will be what they're trying to aim for here. Kalmychata, though, what do they want to try and move towards? They have been peaking quite early, a whole lot of Fortnite Man. Do they feel like the Mars is good enough here? Didn't really
it's
have
good against BB.
Didn't have the biggest impact though for the last couple of games that we saw from Fortnite Man. What was it, a 007? Did he have in game 2?
Something like that. It didn't look great, and there is the CK. Okay, so you've got a little bit of that reposition. You've got more stuns. You've got, well, we haven't really seen Ike play the 5 Shadow Shaman is the thing. So where exactly are they flexing this to? Is this going to be a 1 CK that's looking to try and trade against the bristleback? But yeah, could it be a 3 CK? Very, very possible.
Okay, not with the Slider.
Definitely not. I mean, very small possibility of Slider being mid, but they have played it in the offlane before. And I mean, maybe that's the way that they're looking to try and address this, is just let's go minus armor against this bristleback. You've got Corrosive Haze, you've got Reality Rift, TA's gone, but maybe, I don't know, something like an Ember Spirit as well that's just able to slowly chip away. Tusk still in the pool. Could be Sven, if you did flex this one. Yeah, Sven, sure.
We'll see where they want to end up here. So Cyber Goose.
Ooh, they could still Shadow Fiend as well. Presence of the Dark Lord.
Yeah, true. I'd like to see them have a little bit more reliable stuns. Potentially try and have something to alleviate a bit of the pressure from a lot of this minus armor that's coming through already. I'm trying to think. The Oracle here?
Sorry. From
Cyber Goose.
Yeah, so you're saying for Cyber Goose you want something to give them armor or like sustain?
So, something that at least allows them to kind of deal with what's coming at them from Kalmychata.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of Willow so far, and like Terrorize can feel pretty nice. You know, just laying down the Bramble Maze as well takes away a lot of that potential. Or just picking a beefy boy like the DK feels pretty good too. Honestly, even a Tiny is a possibility here. You're not even locking into playing it as a core. You can still, I think, make it work as a position 4. Tier 2000 needs to wash his face.
Yep.
The yawning in one of these high stakes situations. Is it? Oh yeah, I see. Who's the one on the right?
Kakashi's at the top. Is that Naruto?
Is it?
Or is it Boruto?
I think it's Boruto. I don't know. I have no clue.
I don't know.
I see Kakashi. I don't tell the rest. We've got Windranger coming through. Okay, so I'm just trying to think of specific combinations with this. As again, kill shot feels really good, but you need to have that specific setup to be able to make it work. So maybe they're just like, all right, well, what are heroes that we can? There's the thing you're asking for. Make work where they're kind of self-sustainable, so that it will give us a little bit of time to react if they do indeed try and engage onto us. DK, obviously very tanky. Windrun, very effective tool. BB, tanky as hell. AA shouldn't be on the front lines. So it really just comes down to, you know, what sort of heroes remain that are going to enable you to do that. I mean, it's not locked in as like a DK 1. overall as well. It is, yeah.
Yes.
They do. So they're going to be able to change this up. I would be very surprised if they didn't ban the SF, because this really just does feel like their style of draft, you know?
Yeah.
Stun into Yasha, Kaya, Requiem of Souls with a blink, and try and blow someone up with magic damage. And I think it's important to not go all in onto the physical damage. Otherwise, you know, you're just going to get Crimson Guard, you're going to get
AC, Shivas.
Yeah, all this sort of stuff that's really just slowing down and nullifying a lot of the damage that you've got coming out. Hell, they even like Underlord, for example. Great against the CK. You know, good at holding people in place. We've seen Underlord position 1 work rarely, but it has been known to work.
So they get rid of those pesky heroes from the middle lane. Those kind of anti-heroes. Be able to shut down the Bristleback.
They don't really
like
have any
to see them-
backline dive. Like, could they just sniper or something like that? Just be really annoying from afar? You probably don't do much against a DK, though, is the thing. Like, DK can just
I was going to
stand all
say,
of it.
I would like to see them get a Silver Edge builder, so I wouldn't hate to see it. Also, really good at disengaging from the AA Ice Blast as well. You've got a lot of decent mobility on the sniper. You are kind of just really far away from the fray, so it's like you and Sven aren't generally going to get hit by the Ice Blast together.
You should have like 3 heroes in front of you as well.
Yeah.
They're all tanky strength heroes.
I don't hate it, but I think the problem is the last overall pick from Cyber Goose could just make, you know, this sniper pick feel null and void, and you just get stormed or something, and then you feel kind of useless.
Yeah, no, I get it. And it is why I'm like, this last pick is going to be pretty important. I mean, I would be totally on board with the puck as well, to be honest. But again, then you just put the DK mid. So what are you supposed to do in that situation? Do you pick...
Yeah.
Timber, okay. Yeah, I see it. Good percent damage. Nice little thing where they can't get away with not going for a BKB. You know, if you're looking to just try and itemize into like halberds and the like, you're going to get punished a little bit by this Timber Saw. I can see it working.
Yeah, I do like it. As we saw, first pick of the tournament.
Solo seems pretty
really
confident.
be in a Timber patch. And they're going to go with the Doosa. Oh, these heroes struggle with dealing with Doosa.
They do.
They struggle.
But
So TA2000 Doosa as well.
she can melt if you get on top of her, though, is the thing. Like, it's really just going to be dependent on where the supports are. Like, problems, I think he's going to be the key. Because as soon as Ike has his Blink Dagger, that's just going to be priority number 1, right? Find TA2000, get the Blink Hex. Well, I wonder if he's going to go for like a really early Aghanim Shard on him, and maybe like an Aghanim Scepter, just to be able to have that snake going back, so you're not going to be able to get Hex into Shackle combination.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I like it. It does feel like it's a... I was going to say it does feel like it's a pretty decent investment coming in from TA2000 to get towards that little bit of extra protection, but it has definitely been something in the past that I've seen Medusas go for, so I mean, I'm not going to disparage it by any means, and I'm definitely not going to disparage somebody like TA2000 as well. So
I think it's even just the shard these days as well, actually. So like that's not a big gold investment when it's going to be saving you time and time again, giving your team chance to be able to rejoin you and you know, influence in that way. So I can see it working. I still want to see. So did we kind of resolve what I was sort of wanting? So we wanted a Silver Edge builder. Don't really have that from anyone except maybe the Sven. We don't have a disperser buyer either on my side. No. So I'm a little worried that they're going to get kited around unless they are able to 100-0 this Bristleback with regularity. And Noticed is a good enough player that I don't think he's going to put himself in a position to get caught out pretty frequently.
And I think the problem also as well is the only real way that they can take towers is snakes and a Sven. Timber's not really going to take towers. Slider's not going to take towers. Whereas for the side of Cyber Goose, they're in a position where, you know, they've got the Dragon Knight's pretty good. I guess the others are kind of crappy at doing it too. So it's not like they're blown out of the water. But wait and see. Rinsick. He's going to be moving forward here and wanting to see if he can get a fight under his turns. Notice walks up, and we'll notice Ike there on the high ground.
Awful. Just awful.
It's fine. We're here.
They're even just planning for the later stages. Like, everyone's going to be picking chicken fingers anyway, right? But it just means that when Doosa eventually wants to have that Manta style, you've got an answer to at least stop both. You just cast X on one, you right-click the other. And then, you know, even just a Shadow Shaman is able to take away a lot of the farming potential that TA2000 has. So even if he does go Manta down the track, he's going to need to keep those units inside the jungle. Ooh. Raj? This is a mid-slaughter as well, by the way.
Should have a pretty decent lane against Chira Jr. here on Dragon Knight. Especially with the leg day facet.
Timber would have been pretty good too, though. Maybe just feeling like he's going to have a better time against the Medusa on the Timber's tour.
I feel like into the AA he's going to have a bit of a rough time as a Timber full stop. Especially with a double melee lane, but wait and see.
It depends on really what the style is that he's going to be looking to play, right? Like, is he going to just be sticking around being that annoying reactive armor builder, or is he just going to go the old nothing to say build where, you know, 4-4-0 and it's just all about front on damage? Yeah, try and burst people, try and get really aggressive, try and yoink away a bunch of stacks that are being made up for both the BB and the Doosa and the Dragon Knight. That's something that they're going to be doing quite frequently. And, I mean, for problems, he's going to, with his power shot, be able to make that happen from afar. Nicely done, winning the Sentry Ward battle.
And good start there for the Shadow Shaman.
Raj as well, doing a decent job of bullying up in Chira Jr.'s face.
I think that's really what you need to do on this ladder. You need to get these first couple of levels really going your way. Once you hit that, I think that level 3 power spike is going to be the big one here for Mirage. Just constantly keep getting those clicks going and see if you can win this trade war.
Not the US trade war that's going on at the moment.
I was going to make a joke about tariffs, and I was just like, nah. Rather not. Pushchat's already still, you know, molding half of them.
For the last result.
Yeah.
You know what? Just don't call GG in the future. Simple as that.
Yeah. So we'll see how the rest of this series is going to go. We'll see whether or not Cyber Goose can kind of pick up their socks. It's something I didn't really follow along with when you were speaking about it a little bit earlier as we got into this series, Danog. But the fact that Cyber Goose didn't win their first series, a bit perplexing.
Yeah, for sure. Again, against the third place team in the second qualifiers. So
yeah,
this is, and it's not like it was a best of one either. You know, they ended up losing 1-2. Maybe just getting a little bit overconfident. Who knows? Didn't have time to watch that series in particular, but interested to see how that's going to affect them mentally, because double chance is gone. They're in the lower bracket now. So how are they going to be able to combat this? The other thing that I'm also just looking into is, like, what is Chira Jr.'s build going to be on this Dragon Knight? Is he going to build, like, I don't think this is the Blink Dagger game, at least at the very start. I think he needs to be really focusing on how can I take towers? How can I try and open up the map as much as possible? Because the thing for mine is, like, what is the Doosa going to be doing? It feels like they're going to be playing a pretty passive one here on the Goose Boys.
Yeah. Stack and crack at this point. Stack up the jungle, go and crack it open, get some gold, sit back and wait. Actually, may not have all the time in the world to sit back and wait. Yes, the Sven into the Doosa matchup's not really that Sven coded, so we'll have to see what the type of pressure is going to get put on Kalmychata and see whether or not they will feel it towards that mid towards late game, or whether or not Rinsik is going to feel pretty confident going into a game like this. Doesn't really have the good diffusal builder, so they have to try and figure out other ways of getting their damage into the Medusa.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, no diffusal builder, no real... You just got to blow her the hell up, basically. Yeah. Like, I almost wonder, is it going to be I think the thing that TA2000 is going to do, like I was saying before, is just really keeping track of what Ike's item progression is going to be like. Like if he sees him getting a good amount of farm, if he's getting a lot of kill involvements, if he's making a bunch of stacks, if he's getting bounty runes, how close is he to being able to get that blink dagger at all stages? And he just needs to plan his Aghanim shard around that. Because he ain't getting it from a tormentor. Last
Well,
point
you'd hope
all
not.
there. You'd hope not.
If TA2000 is in the running for a shard, you want to hope that everybody else has theirs at that point, or maybe you're thinking about game 2.
Yeah, this is a juicy camp on the bottom lane next to Solo with Fortnite Man. Yeah, well, they're going to be able to deal with it though. The other thing that I was also just looking at with regards to what I was saying about the Dragon Knight and like what his build is going to be, little interesting that he's gone for the Gorgon's Grasp this game in particular versus the Undulation on the Medusa. A lot of people do like going Undulation as the facet, but you know, Venomous Volley, it does feel kind of nice just to be able to try and keep them away, try and kite them out a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, I mean, the attack speed slow can potentially prove some problems for the Sven as well as the Slardar. So, I don't know. Still surprising. Is this still the same? I imagine you probably wouldn't know, but I wonder if this is still the same courier bug that's been around for a very, very, very long time. Not bringing all your items and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, occasionally it does that with me too, yeah.
You just can't bring it to you.
You just gotta spam it until it listens.
Yeah. We're still in beta, guys. It's fine.
This is really
They're
like...
going solo in the bottom side. That's a lot of burst damage that came in there from Fortnite Man. Same now with the Blood Grenade. Pondo's looking to see if he can try and get the first blood, but it's Fortnite Man who gets it here on the Timber Saw. He doesn't have the reactive armor, so he's just copping a licking from TA2000, but first blood's going the way here of the Timber.
Yeah, he's got full stick and Healing Lotus as well to be able to play around with, so he should be A-okay.
Looks like he's going that bursty kind of build.
I wonder if he is ever going to go just like 1 point in the reactive armor, just because it is nice to be able to just stay out on the map. It enables you to jungle just that tiny bit easier too. It does end up going down into that that avenue, or you know, cutting waves if they do end up falling a little bit behind. The thing that support CK does not do at all is be able to deal with. Oh man, should be okay. Like a bunch of units like this. So I wonder if it's going to be Ponlo just trying to drag that next wave, because he's really not being all that effective in this lane right now, especially with Timber being forced all the way back.
He's copping a lot of damage. He has to be very, very careful. Yep.
He had a stick as well, and a Fairy Fire, but...
He walked through the neutral creeps and he copped a couple of auto attacks, so...
Power of the AA. Won't chill. Do good.
Yeah.
Against these strength
100
heroes.
damage from neutrals. It's just... Yeah, not good. That's fine. He gets the reset. But yeah, as you said, it's just very, very hard for them to try and deal with a big old creep camp.
This might be solo in a little bit too deep, though. Mind, he's going to be able to back off. Still, though, he's continuing the bully. He should get the kill, actually.
He may have the... Oh, no, he missed the... He cancelled the animation. Fortnite Man cancelled the animation, and now he's gone too far. He does have another Timber Chain to be able to get away here from TA2000, but TA2000 is just going to continue the clicks. As you said, getting that value point in the reactive armor is good enough. Ponlo did make a rotation towards the middle lane here to try and see if they can unlock Mirage a little bit here against Shiro Jr. But Kalmychata just not able to connect with their heroes that time around.
And they're making sure to put a lot of emphasis onto these neutrals as well, realizing how likely it is that they're going to be looking to try and build up some stacks. As yeah, I don't think Fortnite Man can go there, and he really doesn't want to be left solo in this lane at this point, not with the health and mana that he's got at this stage.
Yeah, especially when he wants a little bit more of this experience, but they're putting a lot of emphasis towards this mid lane. They want to try and rocket Mirage into that early start. Slardar wants to have. Chira Jr. comes in, gets the Dragon Tail at least, but look at the burst damage. Oh my god, amp damage plus corrosive haze.
Yeah.
What
Plus reality
used to be
rift.
called. So it's a lot of damage. Yeah, what's the total like minus armor? So 10 plus reality rift. How much is on reality rift?
4 at the moment.
4. That's 14. Mm-hmm. Damn. I wonder why
And he's going to have Aether Lens, and he's going to have level 10 Reality Rift pull distance. So, pretty good. Don't even need a Blink Dagger to be able to make a lot of these plays on the CK. And Slime's got a Bolt of Light, just passively.
To pull them away from Mirage. Too far.
So what? 2 from the Orb of Blight. Eventually, 16 at this stage. It's pretty good. And then later on, of course, it's going to get even stronger. Mm-hmm. We're expecting, I mean, maybe do you go into the AC as well? Just like really go minus armor? Or at that stage, I feel like it'd kind of get into the diminishing returns level.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the question, right? And depends who's done the
Fortnite Man is very
math.
deep here.
Noticed. He's getting collapsed on here. The Bristleback. He does have 16 wand charges, though, so you have to be very, very careful, especially with the Vanguard. Keep it to the tier 1, so it looks like Ponlo has called that one out. Notice it's very hard to kill. They just don't have the damage. I think they 100% need the Slider, and maybe even the Timber.
Yep. I think with Slider it's enough at this stage. Yep. Or maybe not now that he's finished the Vanguard up already, right? And love the Halberd pickup that he's looking to go for. I don't know if he needs to go the full power treads or if the boots would just be enough to be able to just continuously cast that Snot Rocket in a lot of these team fights.
We'll see. Feels like it is kind of player preference at that point between the treads and the arcanes. Bottom side though, Ponlo is doing what he does best, be a nuisance across the map. I feel like he is one of the POS4 players that I see quite a lot, who is just not really just in no man's land, but just really being deep and getting a lot of info for the team. Whether or not he survives the info tracks is up for debate.
It's a lot more value once you're level 6 though. I think it's still way too early to be making those moves, but I suppose the justification is you're happy for you to be dying rather than Fortnite Man having 2 people focus in on him, especially considering he is going this higher damage output sort of build. So you got to get him those levels. You got to make sure that he's able to farm effectively. Ponlo's time will come.
Which I don't hate from Fortnite Man, and obviously conversely Ponlo as well. Giving him that space so he can play this little bit of a quote-unquote greedier style. Problems. Could be having some soon.
No, he's
head out in front of Mirage.
He knows. An award there to be able to play around with, so he knows that there's 3 people in mid. His job is basically just keep power shotting these waves as much as possible. Just shove it out, delay it, and he's gotten the Sister Shroud as well, so it's even harder for him to end up dying. Not the case for Fortnite Man. One of these Grandmaster heroes, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bring up the stats on him. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to bring down the god that is Fortnite Man. This guy's basically got a shrine and a statue for half the Redditors. So,
2-time OG Slayer.
We'll have to wait and see if the mid game is where he's able to bring it back. Chiro Jr. did a really, really good job at just being able to rotate towards the Timbersaw, who noticeably does not have those tankier items just yet. All those tankier skill builds, so it's a very juicy morsel to be able to take down. And seeing again just a little bit of a slower gain from Kalmychata.
They're just going to... They do see Ponlo there. He's actually just moved into the out of the fog of war, excuse me. So they've got a rough idea that they're looking to try and collapse in onto this lane. Again, Windranger doesn't exactly have the highest mana remaining to be able to stop this from happening. And good move, though, with the siege creep to be able to take out this tower. We did mention that that was one of the weaknesses that they had on the Kalmychata lineup. That sieging towers, not their biggest strength. Now they're going to need to try and move back and defend their own towers from being taken because siege creeps are hitting in onto both their bot and top towers.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. They need to make sure that they defend these towers as well as trying to take them when they can.
Haste on Mirage.
Okay. So maybe this could be a fight. They do find out Noticed. Ike is here as well. They notice that there is a big old creep camp that he's trying to take here. So they're going to throw out the AA Ice Blast here. Just going to try and make sure that Notice can get away from this. And it's just Rinsick who's the one who pops the Ice Blast.
He's fine with it though, but it's it's not stopping them from farming all these stacks, right? And this is the thing. They don't necessarily want to do much of anything on Cyber Goose at this point. Like, they just want to sit back, do nothing. If they get a tower, great. If not, whatever. Like, we just need to get into our early-ish items. And I feel like they've accomplished that. You know, BB's got Halberd coming out to him. By the time he's got Power Treads, you're probably going to have the Blink Dagger up on the DK. Deuce close-ish to the Manta. So, you know, that's the sort of time where you're looking to try and make some tower pressure happen of your own. Probably should be at around a similar sort of time that Mirage is getting into his Blink Dagger as well, though. So now the thing that I'm looking for is Podlo buys up a Smoke of Deceit, still needs to ferry it out on the Courier. But, you know, Echo Saber, the smoke coming in. Still a fair ways away from any sort of like Blink Dagger purchase from Ike, but he's very close to the Mass Serpent Ward, so I wanted to see them keep the pressure up. In fact, he's just picked it up. So can they go for a smoke here off the back of this? Maybe not with Fortnite Man having so low mana.
Maybe they could try and connect with Rinsick in the top part of the map. He did just pop Cold Strength out of farm, so looks like it's just going to be Mirage and the gang. Fortnite Man is smoked up here as well. It looks like for the side of Cyber Goose, they are also on the same vein. Problem Solo as well as Chira Jr. Want to see if they can try and take down Fortnite Man. And Fortnite Man is going to show on this lane. And unfortunately for him, this is going to be yet another death. His team is not anywhere to be found. The Ice Blast will be more superfluous than helpful in those fights. And it is just another one of those big victories here for Cyber Goose.
So eyes are on BB now. Where is he going to reveal? Is he going to reveal at all on the lane?
Surely not.
He had a very brief glimpse of him, but it'd be enough to fully commit behind that tower. They didn't have to use a single TP to be able to get that kill onto Fortnite Man using the smoke to its fullest potential. But maybe they're just looking to invade around this 14-minute timing. The thing is, they can get pincered very easily. They'll be behind enemy lines, and what are you supposed to do to be able to try and respond to this? No Ice Blast, I suppose.
Yeah, they've still got quite a lot, and now notice he's the one that's been found out. They go in with the amplified damage, hasn't really been able to do all too much with it, and they're just going to be able to clean up these wards. Yeah, about half HP on the tier 1, but all it was just TPs in from some supports. Chira Jr.'s here on the side, but just going to leave it be. It seems like they just don't have the prowess because Fortnite Man's had a struggling lane, and Rinsick just wants to sit back and farm. So they just don't have the presence on the map just yet.
We have seen from Rinsick, though, the second he gets the Blink Dagger, he's just all in on trying to kill someone. But the thing is, you haven't touched a Medusa at this point, and they're going to try and look to do it now, but should be able to get the Stone Game off.
Oh, the Manta dodge comes out there onto the Chaos Bolt, so they almost got themselves a pretty little penny by taking down TA2000. Looking to see if they can found him. Once again, Mirage in the back line is able to get that Corrosive Haze out onto the Medusa, and she eventually, with the mana gone, loses her life here to Fortnite Man. So playing around Rinsick is a good place for them to be here. Chira Jr. stuck in the trees, blinks up and away from the crit wave, so doesn't get found out, and so he will be able to walk himself into the Twin Gate and then get himself the heck out of dodge.
I mean, you just see the difference, though, with Rinsick actually joining in onto something. Takes out the majority of the HP of the Deucer, as well as having the damage remaining from the God Strength to actually secure an objective. So that's 2.5 tier 1 towers that have been removed. I really want them to, again, look to put a bit of emphasis onto this top one. Although, through his illusions, might be able to scout a lot of this out. Gets the D-Ward off, so that's nice. Ooh. On his Shadow Shaman. It feels like there's going to be a team fight breaking out pretty shortly, but Pomo might be a bit too deep here.
Yeah, he could be getting caught out here, and there's just so much burst damage. It's just non-committal. You know, they throw out an Ice Blast, they throw out a kill shot, they just get Chira Jr. there with a Dragon Tail, and it's not really the response that you would like. You can see that Mirage really wants to try and be responsive to a lot of these different skirmishes and engagements, but Fortnite Man as well as Rinsick, they just sit back and farm. They just don't have the same kind of presence on the map as it was what you'd like. But now with Rinsick with this Blink Dagger, it could be go time. Kalmychata.
I think so. That is indeed the case. They just want to shove this wave out really quickly in the mid lane so that their smoke isn't incredibly obvious. Might even just look to use Mirage as bait in this mid lane. I mean, no one defending it raises alarm bells for me. It's going to be Fortnite Man putting his life on the line, on the front lines. No one's kind of doing anything, though.
Letting Tier 2000 just take out this initial
real
tower.
So.
About half HP. That's a beautiful little wall trap on the side there. Chiro Jr. is being stuck in between a rock and a hard place and is able to eventually get away from some of these snakes. And now we're going to go in here for Rinsik, seeing if he can try and take down Notice, but no.
Surely Bippy dies.
Goes in towards.
Surely Bippy dies.
Notice still lives, still walking around. At least gets a little bit more of these snot rockets going out as well. Chiro Jr. about half HP. Fortnite Man, he cannot re-aggress. Mirage tries his best to try and see if he can get this fight going on their terms, but they just don't have what it takes. It took so long to take down Notice that they just didn't have the extra bit of damage there, Daniel.
I mean, I'm just surprised that they waited so long. They had everyone in there. They had Blink Dagger on Slardar and the Sven. You had a Deucer just basically right-clicking unopposed, and Fortnite Man was just sticking back. By the time he went in, the fight was essentially over. Like, you lost your POS 1 that needs to keep up with this Medusa, and sure, you get the Bristle back, but it just costed them way too much time, and well, effectively, it's translated into some solid net worth coming through from Cybergoose.
Yeah, they're not head and shoulders above the net worth purely because Rinsik is in a pretty commanding position himself, but these cores are starting to fall behind here. A nice little Hexer goes out onto Chiro Jr. Pomlo's going to try and TP away. It's not enough, so Chiro Jr. claims that one with the Breathe Fire. And we'll see Ike be able to walk away.
I don't mind the idea of trying to, go in onto solo, get that really quick burst onto him, but it's a really early Ghost Scepter purchase. Not really the support item to be going for, considering it's only really useful for you, but considering how important AA is with the Bone Chill, let alone the Ice Blast, to be able to deal with some of these tanky boys, it just feels really nice to be able to say, you know what, you're trying to 100-0 me, even if he gets Orchid, it's like, it's still just not enough to be able to take him out, and no one's really a Nullifier builder at this stage.
Quick little kill there on Chiro Jr. You can see this is what happens with the Corrosive Haze, as well as the Sven God Strength. People do just disappear. So the game plan is there. The game plan obviously works. We've seen it time and time again. It's about trying to get that execution down here for Kalmychata.
I mean, it works, but you really need to do it before they get too tanky that it doesn't work, where you can't just like burst them 100-0 super easily. And when you're hitting these big spikes, like level 2 ulti, for example, that's an extra 5- armor that the Slardar is looking to try and play around. So how are you going to be able to engage effectively with that?
Those are the real questions.
I mean, they should know as well that 20 minutes. That's exactly what I was just about to highlight. Like, this top area is the area that's going to be most hotly contested. And I think maybe Kalmychata have said, you know what, let's just give this one up. We're not in a position to be able to fight right now. We need to just try and get something else while this is all happening. You can see Pomlo try and farm really deep in the mid lane. They expect that this is going on. What I do want to see is a little bit more emphasis being put onto... It's actually Chiro Jr. that ends up getting it.
Okay. Interesting.
And Ike, not sure what he was doing there, but you know what? Go off, King. Would have been happy enough for him to just walk behind enemy lines while they were doing it and drop the Mass Serpent Wards on the Tier 1 tower, just so that it's a little easier for them to invade into the area that, Deucer, Bristle, DK still want to be trying to farm a few of these stacks. Smoke's going to try and pick up anyone that's looking to try and continuously cut these waves. Going to be poor Ponlo that ends up dying again. He's got the shield rune, but it's only going to give him about a couple of seconds of extra life.
Yeah, it's just quite a lot of damage that just goes through. A lot of magic damage. So they just burst through it. Fortnite Man's going to try his best to try and clear out these waves, but yeah, it really does feel like this is a lead that he's just constantly building here for Cybergoose. And the question is, how do you really kind of combat this? Is it just a full 4-man smoke movement? Hopefully you kill TA2000, slow down this Medusa, and try to put a bit of pressure back on Cybergoose?
I guess, but like, what is actually the big item that you're hoping to wait for? I mean, you've got Aghanim's nearly completed, I suppose, on Mirage, and that's really what they're going to be looking to play around. That plus the BKB from the Sven, but even... Oh, hold on. This would be a pretty big yoink away, considering you're going up against so much... Oh, hold on. Ward trap.
Nice up though. There's the power of having a little bit of extra gold across everybody here. Means your supports just have that one extra item. They're about half HP now on the Roshan. Fortnite Man...
He's not there. He can't throw the chakra in. Yeah.
He can't even get anywhere close. They're going to see if they can go in Pon low. 4 stars forward, and unfortunately for him, the Aegis is already gone.
It's a good attempt, though.
Yeah.
Weren't even able to get away with dewarding the Observer Ward that was placed up on the high ground there by Solos. A little surprised about that. It just doesn't feel like they're getting anything of great impact across the map, you know? Like a lot of these trades are just favoring Cyber Goose by so much. And what I was saying before that all happened was, yeah, you've got your BKB now on Sven and level 3 ulti, which feels pretty nice. As they do actually try and go in here.
Going here onto Node.
Didn't pop the BKB.
Didn't pop the BKB. Now Rinsick gets about half HP, but it's the Ice Blast. This is going to tear through these tanky boys, and they don't even get the kill there onto the Dragon Knight, who's the one without the Aegis. And they've just lost 3 here, and at 22 minutes here, Danog, I think this could be a quick one.
You got to pop the BKB when you're making those sorts of jumps, you know, like that was literally the difference. The extra couple of seconds probably means that 2 heroes die and you maybe get away, but instead just go down to about half HP. And what I was about to say was you've got the Stone Gaze still to have to deal with, right? So it's not like the BKB is the be-all and end-all of your team fight winning strategy. You still can't just continue to stand and commit and right-click. You're going to get punished.
It's just getting to the point now where this Deuce is reaching critical mass. Almost has Skadi. And once that's picked up, like, I mean, what are you supposed to do with a Medusa who's going to have, like, over 2k mana shields, all this armor, 30 plus armor, probably even more, evasion from the butterfly. It's just, yeah, it's a lot that they have to try and get through here. And it has been such a good Medusa pick from Cyber Goose. It is really
BB walking up into them would be great.
Okay. Well, these cancel these TP, but now they want to try and walk back around. They do get themselves a little bit of a hex, and Ike unfortunately is stuck now in the win run, and he will eventually lose his life. With TA2000 getting those right clicks going forward. They didn't want to engage because they only just got the BKB back now for Rinsick.
That's the big thing. Again, we haven't seen those big initiations. We haven't seen that burst potential outside of the first, let's say, 10 minutes of the game. That's the area that's been lacking. You needed so much more emphasis onto TA2000. And he's just free to do whatever the hell he wants now at this stage. Just 500 gold away from that Skadi.
Let's walk up high ground. Oh, they killed the courier. Okay.
Yeah.
That's big from Ponlo. So that buys them a couple of minutes here. But it's kind of the conversation that we had a little bit earlier, right? What are you really waiting on?
They're going to smoke and they're going to go for the back line, try and take out these supports in particular, but they respond with a smoke of their own.
Looking at the desperation play. Beautiful blinking there comes in from Chiro Jr.
No BKB
on top as well. Mirage isn't able to do anything here, and Rinsick is just stuck between a rock and a hard place with this win run. It is so hard for him to try and walk away from it. Tries to use the war cry, but it's not going to be enough. There's not rockets will go out as well here from those. So going to go forward. Direct damage onto the Sven. He just goes about half HP and he has the BKB TP away. And unfortunately for Ponlo, he's going to have to be the sacrificial lamb. He wants to see if they will take him for a little bit of a ride. And TA2000 was looking forward here to try and take down Ike, and they're going to get the TP away on Fortnite Man as well. So they at least get away without having critical damage dealt to them, but it's just, once again, they lose all these lives. They've still got a minute and a half left on this Aegis as well. And
no BKB.
Too straightforward for Cyber Goose, and this looks like a pretty dominant game 1 victory if I was a betting man.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to go this minus armor strat, there's a time where it's going to drop off in effectiveness. And, you know, a lot of this survivability is just going to balloon way too far out of control. So I think they've just missed some of their timings here. TA2000 is far too big for them to deal with. I mean, he's double the net worth of basically everyone except the Sven on Kalmychata.
Yeah, Kalmychata, unfortunately, just has very comfortable heroes, but it's just, for me, they're really, Fortnite Man just has not had many lanes over these last couple of games. The one game that they looked great in, we had a pretty even lane. It was just a whole lot of good creep cutting coming in from Pondlo in these last couple of games. It's just really not been much. So, speaking of the man of the legend, it is just not really much of a showing for Fortnite, man. It's basically just walking into Tilted Towers and losing the first fight.
Back to the battle bus with him. We got
just going to walk at tier 4s, right? Like, there's nothing they can do about this. The creeps are just going to constantly keep pushing in, and you're just going to walk at these tier 4s and try and win the fight.
They just got to get on the back line somehow. I mean, the positioning is always so good coming out from Goose. It's hard to find that area of engagement. You're always running into either BB or DK or Deucer first, and those are not easy kills, although he's kind of baiting himself a little bit. Finger over the Ghost Scepter, not able to pop it in time and gets one shot.
Yeah, good crush is big there from Mirage, and as you said, one shot there goes onto the Ancient Apparition. Ike, though, very low. And again, it is just too much for Rinsig to deal with. And I think for this game number 1, they are trying their best to pull this one out of somewhere, but it's not really going to end out with much. The Dragon Tail does get reflected there by Fortnite Man, but you can just see this Snot Rocket Facet just walks in. He's just able to get all of this goo going everywhere on top of everyone. And you say you have a minus armor strap. Ooh, okay, Fortnite Man does blow up Chira Jr., but it's now. It's time for TA2000 to walk in and try and finish this game. Beautiful shackle shot comes in there from Problems, and Mirage will just die out to the final Mystic Snake.
Yeah, it turns out there's a reason this Bristleback gets banned every single game. Like, it's just way too hard to kill him. The build-up for Halberd is just so good. And despite the fact that we're going up against this Bristleback with Halberd being busted, they're like, you know what? Let's go a right-click build. That's going to work effectively. And it just feels like they're being kited out almost seamlessly every single time.
Yeah, it really does feel like that they've just been in a commanding lead since start to finish. There was some good moments in the lanes there from Kalmychata, but it really did feel like that Goose are trying to right the wrongs of yesterday.
Go for another smoke.
Fight again here with Kalmychata, though.
This is a mega creep, so they're going to need to do something.
Oh, it just walks in with a halberd. I mean, everything's completely nullified. They're trying their best to see if they can chunk through a few more of these people, but now with the diffuser blade in the sky, TA2000 gets it done. GGs have been called. Checking the other ancient.
Yeah, there we go.
It's going to survive.
Look at the other ancient.
All right,
it's going to survive. I think we're good.
Yep, I think we're good. Okay, yeah, all right. So, pretty dominant game 1 victory there from Goose. I did like the draft that came out from Kalmychata, but it just seemed like right now we are looking at this for Goose as being